Hello, 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 dreamers, and welcome back to PERLA'S DREAMS. As always, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. Just a quick reminder that I do have 4 kids and 2 dogs. So, noise is something that, depending on the time of the day, will always be happening in the background. I try to minimize it as much as I can, but even myself, I sit on a stability ball, so I make a lot of noise. Anyways, this is going to be your collective reading for the waning moon. And what is coming up for you guys is really standing your grounds with the boundaries that you have set with other people. Now, whether this is at work, in love, platonically, with friends, with family members, it is irrelevant. It's the energy that we're talking about. So for a lot of you, there's come up this space where you can no longer continue to have connections or relationships with individuals that are openly choosing not to respect your boundaries, right? So something very simple, like you've already told your boss, like on Tuesdays you need to leave by 4 o'clock. You're scheduled to work at 4 o'clock, and it's like every freaking Tuesday at 3:30 they're asking you if you can work till 5:30, and you're just sitting there like at some point you're not even going to respond. And I do kind of pick up like this little petty energy, like where you're copying and pasting like a message that you have already sent, right? Or copying and pasting like an email that you have already sent, or something of that matter, because it's really to the point where um it almost feels like you're being tested, right? And in a sense we kind of are testing ourselves, right? Like, am I really going to follow through with this boundary that I set, right? And sometimes, maybe a year ago you may have caved in, like, oh, it's okay, it's just like once, just this one time, right? But at this moment in time, it's like you can no longer even cave in for like one day, because like your body is just like, no, like no, it's no, like, we're done with this energy. And I really like it. And what I really like, what this energy is bringing for you, is that as you're standing firm within the boundaries that you have set, there is this coming to peace. I really love this for you guys. You guys are coming to peace with all of the times in the past where you yourself didn't stand up for you, where you yourself didn't stand up for your boundaries. And the reason why I say I like this for you guys is because whatever needed to be healed within that space is getting worked through during this time. And you really need to take a moment during this week, whether it is, and I keep on, I want to say Saturday, because like I have it in my calendar and I'm reading and it says rest, meaning like I'm not seeing any private clients, I'm not recording, I'm just resting on Saturday. um and it's this space of like, just take a day to just sit with yourself and see how far you have actually come. Because a lot of the times we get hyper focused in this energy of wanting to change this, or wanting to improve in this, wanting to evolve in this, wanting to do this, wanting to do that, and we forget to see how far we have actually come, right? And so that it doesn't become like, let's say a week from now, 2 weeks from now, you don't want to feel like super drained and feel like, oh, I'm doing all this work and nothing is changing. And it's like, no, let's take a moment, right? Let's take 20 minutes and even write a letter to yourself, or write down like where you are at in life. Like, this is why journaling is very good, because when we journal, we can go and look back at what it is, that where we were at like a month ago, where we were at 2 months ago, where we were at a year ago, right? And if you don't like to write, like if writing in itself is like, oh, it's such a pain, I hate my handwriting or whatever it is, then use like a voice note on your phone or anything like that. But keeping some type of record of where you are now, like even if it's like once a month you write a like quick note, like, you know what, this month was very challenging, was staying productive, or was staying accountable with my workout, right? And that's it. Like, I'm not telling you, don't have to journal every day. I'm not telling you to do that, right? I'm just saying like a little snippet here and there. And then a month later you go ahead and you go to journal and you look at last month, you're like, oh shoot, like this month I stayed on track. This month it just came with ease. It was just flowing, right? And you start to realize that even if there hasn't been any major changes, like out of the blue, because you have been continuously working to like within yourself and towards your goals, right? When it comes to your spirituality and how you want to live your life, there has been a major change that has happened gradually. Okay. Okay. Now let's get to this. All right. So we have Aries, Taurus, Cusp comes first. So what does this energy look like for you guys? Um, I'm gonna be like this because it's like it very much feels like you're splitting from you're either splitting from a job, like you're walking away from a job, or you're splitting from a person, whether a friend or romantic, it doesn't matter. You're making a choice that something is no longer in alignment with you. You have been contemplating this for a very long time, and it's like you finally are making the decision that you're either, whether it is that you're putting in your 2 weeks notice, or maybe you're moving to a different department within the same job. I don't know. There's something that you've made a decision, or you're making a decision this week that you're done and you're moving in a different direction. um, Again, sometimes certain connections, whether they're romantic or platonic, are just meant to be temporary. They're meant to be here for a couple of seasons or a season or whatever it is. And for whatever the reason, there is something that the season for that season in that space has ended. Does that make sense? And you're allowing yourself to walk away from this. Like, you're reflecting on the good times, you're reflecting on what you've learned, you're reflecting on the challenges that were within the space, but you're ultimately allowing yourself to move away from this energy. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. So yeah, I don't see you fighting this. I don't see you fighting it. I don't see you um like sitting in your feelings in regards to it. I do see you boldly moving forward, not really knowing how things are going to unfold. We do have the Fool here, and there is this energy of like going into something. Yes, you may be a little naive about going into, like, if you're quitting your job and you really don't have like anything planned out other than like your savings for like the next 3 months or whatever it is to pay off your bills. But within this space of naive, or being naive or whatever it is, there is a very grounded space of knowing that spirit is going to allow you to, like, spirit is guiding you to a very specific destination, even if you're not 100% sure how that's going to look, right? So, for some of you is like, if you're walking away from a relationship, you're like, okay, I'm going to initiate this breakup. I have no idea how this is going to unfold, right? I don't have no idea how we're going to separate our finances, how we're going to separate the house, how we're going to separate the kids, how we're going to, but I just know that I need to initiate it. So it is the active initiation of something that needs to be that you need to be separated from, that you're no longer walking in the same on the same path with something, or you're no longer in alignment with something because you're choosing to be in alignment with something else. Hope that makes sense. Aries, Taurus, Cusp. Yeah, I'm not taking all of those cards. Spirit of the River. And then we do have here, this is one of the other cards that came out, number 33, which is the use joy for muse inspiration. We are going with the Spirit of the River 50. And I'll leave this here for you guys if you guys really want to see the kitty cat. Um, Kitty cat with the butterfly eyes. See the butterfly eyes? Anyways, movement towards adventure. So you guys are taking this opportunity in your life, regardless of how shaky something may be during this time. to just move forward, to again take one step at a time, and knowing that spirit's got your back, and that you wouldn't make such a huge leap of faith, right? Moving away from something or moving away from someone without really being grounded in the knowing that spirit has your back on this. Okay. So we have Taurus, Gemini, Cusp. Taurus, Gemini, Cusp. Um, you're walking a straight line, a straight narrow during this time. You're really in this space where you want to follow the steps. You want to do something right, because you don't want to have to repeat something. You don't want to have to repeat a cycle. So whatever cycle you have just ended, like you ended last week, whatever cycle it is that you are reflecting as to like where it is that you're headed, where it is that you're going, what is it that you need to integrate, whatever it is, like you are just like, wait, I'm not moving until I have guidance from spirit. I'm not rushing. I'm not going to obsess about this. I'm not going to obsess about that. I am just, it's almost kind of like you're allowing yourself to be in this frequency of like perfect timing, knowing that when it's time to move, when it's time to act, when it's time to hold, to release, whatever, you're just like, I'm here, I'm listening, right? So you are in a complete space of surrendering, and I really do like this energy for you guys, um because I feel that it allows the Taurus aspect of yourself to allow yourself to kind of go more with the flow, but it also kind of brings structure to the Gemini aspect of yourself by knowing that even though there is no like structure that you have written out, there is like an outline or a guideline that you're following. And that guideline that you're following, that outline, is the direction from spirit. And that is actually a very beautiful thing that I really do like for you guys. So this week is going to be a lot smoother for you guys. And really, I feel that a lot of you guys are getting like direct messages. There's a lot of synchronicity happening with you guys. And I don't know why I keep seeing a train and a snake and a train, a snake on the like the train tracks or something of that matter. So just kind of keep an eye. Sometimes you may see a picture or may see a video that has a train or has a snake or whatever it is, but maybe in your dreams, or maybe you see a snake literally on a train track or something of that matter. But that is kind of like the way that it's coming up. It's like spirit is talking to you every moment of your life, as spirit does to all of us. It is a matter of like um learning to be in a space where we're grounded enough, where we can receive the messages that are coming through. And for a lot of you, whatever it was that was keeping you in a space of confusion, of a space of like I don't I'm not necessarily it's not necessarily like a stagnant energy. It's just like a lot of confusion. I see like this little loop that you had in your mind, and that is being cleared during this time again, because you are choosing to really listen to the guidance the spirit is giving you during this time. And I really like that energy for you. I do apologize, my son is in the room next over and he is singing as he is working, and again, he creates video games, so his creative aspect, right? um, and I usually tend to record when he is sleeping, but this time it just happened that we're both working at the same time. My kids are very vocal when it comes to like singing and being very loud, like using their voice without any hesitation. So it just kind of, you hear the him singing, that's what it is. So we have the jeweled web connectivity, and this definitely is something that I feel is happening for you guys during this time. Again, you're you're moving in your life with purpose, with guidance from spirit, so that you're no longer stuck in this space where everything is confusing, where you felt like you were constantly in a loop, right? And I really do like this because again, there is this beautiful balance, this beautiful game being played of the like the structure that the Gemini need, and then the flexibility that I feel that the Taurus aspect of you needs as well. So we have Gemini Cancer. How is this unfolding for Gemini Cancer during this week? What are they reflecting on? Um, okay. So for a lot of you during this week, you are relationship is at the front fourth of things. Relationships that have ended, relationships that you're currently in, relationships that you want to have. It's pretty much feels like this looking looking for your tribe is what I'm picking up. Looking for your spiritual family. Looking, and that's where the aspect is. Instead of looking for your spiritual tribe, your spiritual family, instead of looking for a romantic partner, instead of looking for a business partner, instead of looking for this, let's let's be that energy, let's be that frequency that attracts that, right? So be that, like, allow yourself to be in a position where you're open to receive that, that energy that you're searching for or that you're so much looking for, right? So if you want to find your spiritual tribe, then start living in your spiritual, like, start living your spiritual life, start living from spirit, start living from the guidance, right? Stop mixing, like, stop separating the two, stop separating your spiritual life from your practical life, right? There is this beautiful balance that has to happen between the two of them. And if you allow yourself to just be yourself, right, not be who you were told to be, then you will connect with those that you consider to be your spiritual family or your tribe, right? So when we are living our life based on who we are told that we attract people that are in that frequency, right? If I am told I am this, then this is what I'm going to attract, right? But when we allow ourselves to be, then we are connecting. And when we talk about spiritual family, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person has to practice everything exactly the same way that you do, or has to have the exact same viewpoints that you do when it comes to spirituality, right? It is about connecting with people that are just allowing themselves to be themselves. Okay. And I don't know why I have to specify that, because maybe you're looking for something very specific when it comes to your spiritual family, and it's like you're almost like limiting the people that can come into your life that can actually be part of your spiritual family. So yeah, there's definitely a lot that is coming through when it comes to just allowing yourself to be, right? What do you look like today, Gemini Cancer? What does it look like to be you today? Does that look like somebody that is going to be dancing all day, or is it somebody that is just going to be um sitting in nature, or like reminiscing on nature, like, the beauty within nature, the beauty within life, the beauty within air? Or is it today something that is more like on the practical aspect of things, like where you're doing a physical activity or whatever it is, but like how can you bring the spirituality aspect into your practical, like, physical activity, and vice versa? How can you bring some practicality into your spirituality, right? So that neither or feels like it's so much work, right? Learning that dance, learning that rhythm of yourself is something that is very, very important for you guys during this time. All right, give me a card for Gemini Cancer. Heart, home, compassion, number 27. And as we're learning these spaces within ourselves, right? These spaces that allow us to learn this rhythm, that internal rhythm of yourself. Learn to have compassion. Stop being so judgmental towards yourself. I feel that that judgmental energy that you may have had towards others, now you may have been internalizing it, like, oh, well, this person does this. Look how easy it comes to that person. Why can't it come to me? Why is everything so difficult for me? Why is everything so, like, remember what you are constantly telling yourself. It is what you are writing down to be manifested. It is the energy that you are putting out there, and it is what you will be manifesting in the future. So if you want change to come towards you during this time, please change the dialogue of the words that you're using with yourself. Okay. Cancer, Leo. Cancer, Leo. During this week, there is. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I don't know if some of you are in the like actively learning how to do like Reiki or some type of energy work, or you're interested in some type of energy work. And for whoever it is, um, the spirit is just saying that this is your confirmation to go ahead and move forward with that. Again, whether it is that you're practicing like traditional Reiki or any other type of energy work, because I very much see somebody like laying on a table, and then somebody on the head, like standing over their head and like literally with their hands out and like doing some type of energy work. But there has been some confusion here, like, am I choosing this because I know that this person does it, or is this really something that is a part of my calling? So for you, those of you that have been um questioning whether you're supposed to be doing some type of energy work when it comes to helping the collective, this is your confirmation that you very much are, right? So let's go ahead and let's see what else. There is this space of finding your ground, like finding your footing is what I should say, within your connection with spirit. There is a space where, for a lot of you, you may have been seeking. Ooh, there it comes. Ooh, hold on. I went deaf for like a second there. Couldn't hear. There is this sense where, and it makes sense with what's coming up, where a lot of you spend a lot of time seeking advice, seeking guidance from other people. And you learn that everybody that you have connected with, or anybody that you watch, or anybody that whatever, like there's always a piece of something that you needed to hear. And now, when we have all of these little tools, we're supposed to sit with these tools and see what we're supposed to do with them. And that's kind of like what you're doing. It's like you're creating your own roadmap, or your own spiritual ritual or practice, or whatever it is, that allows you to then now have that straight connection with spirit, where when spirit is saying something, is showing you something, there's no longer any doubts. There's no longer needing any confirmation from outside of yourself that this is coming straight from spirit. Okay. 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 So yeah, there is this, you're moving out of this space. You're moving out of this space where you may have been questioning yourself, where you may have needed, again, we're talking about confirmation here. I don't know why somebody thinks that they need, like, you're feeling bad that you need a confirmation. Like, it's not validation, we're talking about confirmation, right? And this is something that I feel that um we all experience, and throughout our life, right? Through this journey at different times of our journey, right? So there's nothing to be ashamed of from needing confirmation, because again, there's, as I'm saying that, there is like this little resistance of like, oh no, I've never needed confirmation. Yes, you have, my love, whether you realize it or not, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't be watching, right? So it's kind of like that space, like, really allow yourself to really be grounded, or find your footing when it comes to your direct connection to spirit. I'm not taking all of those cards. I just need one card for Cancer, Leo, Cusp. One card, Spirit. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. So, and I love the way that this card looks, and I love the repairing the veil, because this repairing the veil, again, it is strictly talking about your connection to spirit. You're like, for some of you, you need to forgive yourself in the parts, or during the times, let's put it this way, that you may have ignored what spirit was saying. Maybe you have may have doubted what spirit was saying to you. Forgive yourself, because at that moment in time, you were doing, or you were following through with what you could at the moment in time, with what you knew, right? um Spirit is not here to punish us. Spirit is not keeping count of like, oh, you did this wrong, you didn't listen to me this time, you didn't listen to me that time. That's not how it works, right? Sometimes spirit presents something to us. It's like, hey, are we ready? Let's see. You're asking for it. Let's see, right? And sometimes the reason why something comes up, even if we're not ready for it, is to remind us that we're not ready for it. Is to remind us that maybe there's something that we need to adjust within ourselves in order to be able to receive that we're asking for. All right, so we have Leo Virgo next. Leo Virgos, you guys are very quiet during this time. I see you guys very much like, it's pretty much like, and again, whether you work sitting down or not, but like, I see somebody really much sitting on their desk, really working, really putting in the work, and just being like super hyper focused. Now, there's nothing wrong with being super hyper focused on your vision, on your goal. Nothing wrong with that. Just remember to take moments of rest in between. So why do I say that? Because I very much feel like, as I'm saying that, I'm like wanting to yawn, wanting to fall asleep. Some of you are working yourself off to a point of exhaustion, whether this is career, this is financially, this is romantically, but like relationship wise, like where you may be overextending yourself in ways to try to accomplish something, or trying to get to like the next level, right? Excuse me. Please make sure that you're giving yourself the time to rest. Please make sure that you're giving yourself the space to receive as well, because as much as you're giving, there always has to be like this balance, right? Something needs to balance out. So if you are actively pouring into a relationship that is not, that the person is not reciprocating, right, then you need to reevaluate how, what it is that you're giving into this relationship, and if it is something that you wanted to if it is something you want to continue giving to. There are some of you that you're not ready to walk away from something, and that's perfectly fine. There's nobody here that is going to judge anybody from staying in a situation. I Sometimes I'll say like, oh, you stay in a situation longer than what you should, and we're talking from like a cognitive type of a perspective, right? Um, but in reality, we stay in situations for as long as we need to in order to learn a lesson, or in order to learn something, in order to process whatever we've learned, or whatever it is. So there is this sense that for a lot of you, buddy, we could hear your phone. There is a sense here that for a lot of you, you're not ready to let go of something 100%. So maybe there has to be changes, or adjustments that need to be made, um, within that space, right? And it may be something as simple as like tweaking certain things, right? Like taking the rest when it's needed, making time for your relationship if you haven't, or maybe learning to do things away from your partner. Maybe you have been in a relationship that has been very codependent, right? Where you can't even go to the grocery store without your partner. And it's like, hey, maybe you need that 10 minutes to yourself, right? Maybe you need that 30 minutes to yourself. So needing to see where that adjustment is for you. Okay. Sky Dancers, Surrender, number 48. And I like the surrendering energy for you guys again because it is it is about you're being asked to surrender to the balance that is needed, right? Because again, you guys can be very extremist when it comes to certain things, like no, this time is just about the relationship, or this time is just about work, and you get so super fixated on something, and it's like, let's surrender to a different way, let's surrender to a more balanced way with things. Okay, all righty. So we have Virgo, Libra. Okay, making sure my battery's um still good. I don't think he's hearing me. I don't know who's in. So we have Virgo, Libra. Virgo, Libra during this time is really much using your voice, really being assertive with what it is that you're saying, and really following through. And again, guys, there's 4 other people that live in this house and 2 dogs. 'Cause got 6 kids in total with the dogs, right? So I do apologize for the noise if it's disturbing. Maybe this is not the video for you to watch. Um, but anyways, what we were saying with you guys is like, because one of my dogs is snoring, so you might hear her. So there is this thing about like using your voice but really being firm without having to be rude or being nasty, right? It's like standing your ground and whatever it is that you're choosing to say. And what I like about this for you guys specifically is that during this time of reflection, you're reflecting on the times that you didn't stand your ground, the times that you didn't say something, the times that you stood quiet, and how that affected your life, how detrimental that was for that specific time in your life. It's almost kind of like you're no longer taking anyone else's BS, and you're no longer holding back with speaking out on the things that you need to speak out, right? Um, there may be a little frustration with this energy. Just do not allow it to do not allow it to have the best of you. Communicate clearly. There is no need to allow yourself to get angry or to allow your emotions to control you. um but I really like this because again, I feel that it's very so much that is really, you're really taking a stand during this time. You're really standing your ground, and you're really not allowing anyone to try to make you feel bad for using your voice, to try to make you feel bad for taking a stand. um but it is there is going to be a little level of frustration here, to be honest with you, that you're going to have to deal with. So we have and I usually don't take it if it's more than one card, but for some reason I feel like you guys need both of these messages. So we have the root girl, which is the disowned self. So whenever you don't stand up for yourself, whenever you don't use up your voice, whenever you fade into the background, you're disowning a part of yourself. And that is something that, if you really look at this, you see the tree trunk and you see her face, and there's a lot of other little things, little details that you can see, so I'll leave it there for you. But whenever we shut our mouth, whenever we when we're talking about this, we're not talking about when we're using our discernment, right? We're talking about when we're conditioned not to use our mouth, not to use our voice, to stand down, to ignore, to whatever. That is when we are doing a dishonor to ourselves. I do not see any energies of like anger or um I don't see the energy of like anger or fear or happiness or anything. I don't see neither of those energies as negative or positive. They're just energies, right? And they're happening, or they're living, or we're experiencing them for a reason, right? And then they have a purpose. They have something to show us, something to teach us, and that's kind of like what you are learning during this time. Now it says the lay of the land was the other card that came out for you, and it's the ancestral wisdom. So there's something here that as you're using your voice, as you're speaking out, and as you're not taking you're not just sitting back. There's something ancestral. Maybe there's some ancestral wounds, some ancestral healing that is happening within that space. All right. Let's do Libra, Scorpio. So Libra, Scorpios, what do we have for you guys? Um, so Libra, Scorpio, a lot of this energy for you guys is going to be within the romantic field or within the relationship aspects of things. There is this sense of having a heart to heart conversation with somebody romantically and really and it feels very much like somebody pouring their heart out, somebody really letting someone else know what they really mean to them, how much they really love this person, but also knowing that the dynamic of a relationship of connection needs to shift. There has to be some changes because the way things have been going on, there is this feeling of like drifting apart. And I feel that for the most part, both of you really want to work on this. So both of you are literally like giving each other the space to be heard, to be understood, so that you guys can come to a compromise, come to an agreement of how you're going to move forward within this space. There is a sense here of like um needing to remind each other or remind yourself as you're having this conversation that you're not being attacked, and you are not attacking anyone. I know that for some people, and I've seen it where some people say talking from a perspective as I feel sometimes this escalate conversation. So whatever dialogue or whatever space, whatever rules need to be set in order to have this conversation, like there has to be like this play where everyone, like both of you, each of you are able to express what you have to say without the other person feeling like you're being like they're being attacked, right? So that so that you both can come into an agreement of a compromise over this relationship. Okay. So we have Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing, number 23. Maybe this is a conversation that maybe in the past you couldn't initiate or you couldn't have because the other person wasn't going to receive it the way that it needed to be received. Excuse me. um and again, you're going to hear them in the background, and there is this let me, maybe if I put my air purifier on, it'll diminish their noises. It's like it just feels like all of a sudden everybody's being loud like at the same time, and the dogs are like, oh gosh, you look so cute sleeping, my Xena. I gotta take a picture of that. I'm sorry, guys, and I will show you guys. Um, it looks so blurry though, but she has her tongue out as she's sleeping, and she looks so freaking gorgeous. Anyways, there is this sense of like this is the right timing and it's a perfect time. Everything is kind of like in alignment for a relationship, a romantic relationship, to finally get over the hump, to finally get over something that was holding a relationship back or that was causing a drift between a relationship. So I am happy to hear that, and good luck with that, guys. So now we're moving on to Scorpio, Sagittarius, Cusp. Secrets are being exposed, guys. I'm not exactly sure if people are exposing your secrets or somebody's coming to you to tell you someone else's secret, but there is a breach of contract here. There is this betrayal. So someone, there's somebody speaking out on a secret or something that somebody confided to them, right? And for some reason the energy is coming towards you or it's involving you. I don't know. I don't know exactly how you play a part in this. Maybe somebody, and again, it could be like maybe you have a group of friends, and one of those friends secretly likes your significant other, or doesn't like you, or doesn't think that you're good enough to for your significant other, and they say it to one of your other friends, and then that friend that they say it to comes and tells you like, hey, um so and so said this in regards about you, and and again, this is not one of those situations where you have to be careful, because sometimes I say like, well, if somebody's saying that to you, why are they so comfortable talking about me to you, right? I don't feel like it's like that. Whoever this person is that is coming to you to tell you something, they stood up for you, and they they're cutting ties with that person, or they're setting certain boundaries with that person. But it's like it allows you to see like who's really there for you and who's not, like who's fake and who's real in your life. So as as uncomfortable as this space may be for you, to have to experience that, etc., it actually allows those energies that do not need to be around you to be removed, right? It is definitely the space of, again, there is some type of jealousy here in regards to like a relationship, in regards to a romantic relationship, where somebody either feels like you're with somebody that is too good for you, or um I don't know, there is just a jealousy here about what it is that you have. If this is not romantically, this is maybe somebody that is jealous of you about a position that you hold um at work. But there is definitely a jealousy here that is being told to someone else within the group, that then this person is letting you know like to watch your back when it comes to that specific person. um So we have lost compass, getting back to integrity. And it makes sense, right? When when we really allow ourselves to live a life of integrity, and we show up for ourselves in that way, I feel that everyone around us starts to show up that way, right? The connections that we start having with people, the spaces that we allow ourselves to go into, have that integrity. So maybe in the past you may have dealt with people that were catty, with people that were constantly gossiping around about each other, gossiping about yourself, and maybe you didn't have somebody that had integrity to say no, this isn't right. And for some of you, and I don't know why this is coming up last minute, but for some of you, maybe you have a quote unquote friend that is coming on to your partner, right? Regardless of gender. So again, there's something here with integrity that is coming up for you guys that I really, really do love. Right? So we have Sagittarius Capricorn is next. You guys are definitely in. I feel that you guys are still riding the wave of like Halloween. Um, and what I mean by that, there during Halloween, the Day of the Dead, and things like that, the it is very easy to navigate the within the spirit realm, right? Beyond the veiled. The veil is always thin, but I feel for some people it is easier to access certain aspects of it, or maneuver in those spaces a little bit easier than on a regular day to day. So for a lot of you, it's like, I don't know if you're being initiated into a space that um, be within us, and we're being in that spiritual realm more than what you used to, is something that is needed. So it's kind of like this is like a training ground for you guys. You guys are seeing a lot, whether it's like from your peripheral, like you're seeing a lot more, and you're sensing a lot more, and you're really riding that wave. So there is a lot of curiosity within this space for you guys. um be very aware of who it is that you're sharing, what it is that you are experiencing. Be aware of who it is that you're choosing to go towards as a mentor. um I would, to be honest with you, the first, if this is something new to you, like the whole spiritual aspects of things, of like seeing things and having visions, and you know you know, if you know. If this is all new to you, do not rush so quickly to try to find a mentor. Allow spirit to guide you to whom your mentor is, right? Because again, I do not speak on like any specific energy being bad or good, but any energy can be used. If one single energy can be used in many different ways, if that makes sense. So as you're walking, as you're starting to walk this path, you have to allow spirit to show you and to give you the discernment of where to go, if that makes sense. Because unfortunately there are people within these type of platforms that do like to take advantage of other people when they're first starting off on their journey. So just be aware of that. No, I am not calling one specific person out. That is not what that message is about. I can't even think of anybody, to be honest with you, that I've connected with. But it is something that, unfortunately, again, the energy of the platforms, the energy of doing things can be used in many different ways, and you have to have the discernment as to who it is that you're choosing to allow to mentor you during this time. So we have dance on one foot, the balancing act, number 9. And this makes sense because when you're first um exposed into this aspect of the spirituality, right, this dance, this balance needs to be, it's kind of like you have to find your footing within this, right? You have to find that balance, and it's actually the number 9, and I don't know if you can see it. It's actually a very beautiful car. I love the color green. um so just be very aware of what it is that you are allowing to receive, what it is, whom it is that you're allowing yourself to receive from. And again, it's not that sometimes people just don't know any better. Sometimes people just don't know any better. Sometimes people I always say it like, we have to, when we're in a position where we feel or that we're doing like what I'm doing, like where we're doing readings and things like that, when I do readings for people, when I do bath, when I do things like that, I have to make sure that I'm grounded in myself, and that I am not coming from a place of trying to seek validation or trying to feel a certain connection, right? From these people, from people that I'm connecting with, but really coming from a grounded space with my relationship with spirit. So this is where that discernment you're being asked to have. Right now, your mentor, your guide is spirit. Whatever needs to be balanced during this time, energetically, spiritually, for you, is going to come directly from spirit. So that may look like you may get a little bit from this message, you may get a little bit from another message, from another reader, from another reader, from another reader, and then you're getting all of these little tidbits, and spirit is telling you, like, take note of this, take note of that, take note of this, take note of that, because when I give you this straightforward message, you know exactly how to move forward with it. Okay. Alrighty. So we have Capricorn, Aquarius, Cusp. What do we have? Crossing the road is really what is coming forward, and I don't understand what that means for whoever this message is. That's going to have some significant. It almost seems like there's a road that you want to cross, and the way that it's coming up, honestly, is like you're trying to take a leap of faith when it comes your to your life. And for you guys specifically, this is coming as in as walking away, not just from like a person or from like a job or from this. You're wanting to walk away completely from your old life or from your current life. You want a completely new fresh start, but you don't know where to start. You don't know where to start, and that's where kind of like you're like kind of like stuck. Okay, do I just quit my job, I leave my partner, I leave the state, I leave the this, I leave the that, I leave the country, and I just whoosh, or do I do it gradually? And my question to you is, when you say like I'm going to quit my job, how does that feel in your body? When you say I'm going to leave this relationship, how does that feel? Or we are going to leave this day, like are you leaving with your partner? Are you leaving, like, you know what I mean? How do those things feel in your body at this moment in time as you're talking about it? Does it feel like a release, like, oh yeah, like calming, like, oh yes? Or are you feeling constriction within it? And regardless of whatever it is that you're feeling, acknowledge that feeling and go into a space of meditation, of prayer, whatever it is, with spirit, and be like, hey, I need guidance in this, right? And when the guidance comes directly from spirit, there is no doubt. The only doubt that is coming is a doubt that you yourself put in there, right? And this comes from listening to other people, right? So whatever changes this is, whatever this crossing the road looks like for you, shh, keep it to yourself. Keep it between you and spirit, or keep it between you. If you really feel like you need someone's opinion, then ask someone who has taken a leap like that, right? Don't ask someone, do not ask someone who has never taken a leap, who has never taken a risk, okay? Because if you ask someone who has never taken a risk in their life, hold on, they're going to discourage you from taking that leap yourself. So here it is not about whether to it is not about whether the change is going to happen. It is not whether you're moving into a new life, a new way of being. It is a matter of how is it going to unfold for you. And one of the dogs is starting to cry because he wants my attention. So again, this is a very beautiful energy if you allow yourself to really be guided by spirit during this time. So Capricorn, Aquarius, Cusp, the eye of the needle, intentionality, number 17. So be intentional, every time you sit with spirit, every time you're communicating, be intentional with what it is that you're asking to manifest. Be intentional with the clarity that you want. Be intentional with how you wake up in the morning, with how you're moving throughout your day, with what you're doing throughout your day. Be intentional with everything, because that is the only way that you can really move forward. And it's the only way that you can be grounded whenever it is that you are taking that leap, whenever it is that you're crossing that road, into your new life, into what it is that you're trying to create. Okay? Okay. So we have Aquarius, Pisces, Cusp. Aquarius, Pisces, Cusp. Um, as I said that, and as like I'm calling in your energy, there is a lot of like pain from like my lower back up to like my mid back, like right where my bra strap is. So that little section right there of like constriction. And as I'm feeling into that energy is like, whoa, baby, come on. This is all self-imposed. Like you already know that these little thoughts that come up, right? This dialogue, this narrative inside of you is not even you. Like you can even hear it. You can even hear the voice of who it is that is saying it. So like if it was your mother, it's like, oh, that's wrong, or that's never going to happen, or this, or if it was a father or brother or whatever it was, like you can hear the voice. And for some of you, there's even a voice that you can't recognize. And for those of you that is a voice that almost feels like, I don't know who this is, it's like there is an ancestral pattern here that needs to be broken. uh this control of other people controlling your narrative when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your career. It's like this is what it has always been, so it's what is always going to be. And it's like, no, that is not the reality of things. So a lot of you really need to, whether it is do some ancestral work, like someone's like There's two people that I really like on YouTube when it comes to meditation. We have Joel Tracy and Michael Seeley are the two people that I listen to meditations when I feel like I need something like specific that I want to listen to. I don't know why I said it that way, but when I feel like I want to listen to something with like words, which I really don't do a lot, I will listen to both of them, and I really love their energy. I am not partnerships or anything with them or anything like that. I don't even know who they really are. I just like their meditations, and I'll put them in the link in the I'll put it in the description. I'll link their channels to the description, but what I was saying was like sometimes we have to address certain areas, right? That maybe we didn't know that something originated there. And for a lot of you, these restrictions that you have when it comes to your finances and when it comes to your career and when it comes to that abundance is very much restricted from something that is ancestral, something that was not healed or dealt with, like with your parents, with your grandparents or great grandparents. So it's going back so many, like I want to say at least 3 or 4 generations from you. And you can definitely go into those spaces and do the generational work that needs to be done. And again, there are different type of things. There's like something that is called like family constellation that can be done, and I also know somebody that does family constellation. So if you are interested, and you are in like near Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts area, definitely reach out through the comments, and I can link her website on there. But anyways, so there's like there's that type of work, there's energy work that you can do, there's meditation that you can do, there's a lot of things. So kind of like see what it is that is calling you, right? Like maybe you have to call one of your own ancestors, like a grandmother, a grandfather, etc. How do we heal this? How do we work in this, right? Because again, we're talking about like now we're talking about like the DNA and like the actual genetic component of what we're made of, right? And what our genetic, our own individual genetic code is holding on to, right? So I would definitely look into that space for you guys because I feel that that's going to be very beneficial during this time for you, Aquarius, Pisces, so that you can actually finally release that constriction that I've been feeling. All right. So we have gathering around the power of community. Again, number 26. So when we, as I'm talking about, like, doing meditations and doing this and doing that, there are different people that are, that can help facilitate, help with things that maybe you just don't have enough knowledge or enough wisdom at the moment to deal with by yourself, right? And there's nothing wrong with using your community, um using the services and the help that are out there, right? For some of you, it may be something as simple as going to therapy to deal with things that are generational curses, right? So maybe you had a parent that used to hit you. Maybe you had a parent that verbally abused you, and that is a generational curse. They were verbally abused. Their mother, their father were verbally abused, and so on and so forth. So at some point, as adults, we have to make the conscious choice to break those generational curses, to put an end to it, so that those that our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren don't have to carry that. Okay. Okay. So we have Pisces, Aries. Okay. Pisces, Aries. You just all right. So Pisces, Aries, you're very much in this sense where you're just you're wanting rest, you're wanting sleep, you're wanting rest. You feel like you put in so much work onto whatever it was that you were releasing during our last full moon, and now you are in this space of like rest. You are reflecting um, on the hold of the something had on you, whether it was a romantic relationship, a work relationship, or whatever. There was something that had a very strong hold on you, and the release from this really um it took a lot of you physically to purge this out of you, to release this out of your system. So during this week, it is okay for you to just rest. It is okay for you to just allow your body to now come to the new baseline, right? To recalibrate itself to a space where it's like, oh, okay, I'm back. That's kind of like the energy that you're being asked to take on during this time. Okay. Yeah, don't try and fight yourself in wanting to be productive. Like, don't fight yourself in wanting to do more. Don't fight yourself in wanting to show up for other people. Really, really listen to your body during this time. Really give yourself the rest. Really give yourself the grace that you need during this time, because your physical body just released something major that really needs, it needs to just recalibrate. And that little sound that you sound is not, it's my dog. Um, he's telling me he needs me. He needs me. So let's go ahead. Pisces, Aries, Cusp. He's done. He's like, Mom, you've been recording for a few hours now. Like, we need you. We need you to come cuddle. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go cuddle in bed. So we have the empty well. Definitely. We have time to replenish, number 16. We do have two cards. I'm going to take it. So during this time, you are to replenish yourself. You are to give yourself that rest, because what is coming is the moon maiden, the new beginning. So number 41, number 16, again, the empty well replenishing. And then we have your new beginning is coming up. Do not try to rush to this. Allow yourself this week to replenish yourself, so that when you step into this new energy, into this new beginning, you are energized, you are clear minded. I don't know why I had to say that, but you're very clear minded, you're very focused, like, on what it is that, on how it is that you're moving forward. Because again, whatever chapter you just closed off last week was a major, major chapter in your life. Well, guys, that is all that I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Love you all. Mwah. Bye bye.